Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there in video game land. Welcome to XGR, the Xpound video game radio show. I am your host for this one, Chris, aka The Mole. And joining me is Anastasia Laserbeam.
Hey.
And joining us is Richter, the stay-at-home dad gamer, Hammer.
Hello.
I didn't need to do air quotes around your name like when I actually write it like the nickname, but I did. Around just the middle bit. But as usual, we're going to go with the latest news and rumors and stuff. Then we're going to go with the games we've played this week, so you guys get to hear thoughts, opinions, and experiences with various games from across all different genres and decades. When we go on to our topic, and this week it's ridiculous interactive scenes in video games. So, first up, the news. Who would like to go first with their little bits of news, their mini news, if you will?
I'll go.
Anyone at all?
Fuck you, I knew you were going to do that.
I know, it's tradition on this podcast. But yeah, okay, you go.
Okay, so there is an exclusive amiibo at GameStop. Like, I know you're going to really want this. You're going to be like, oh, I have to pre-order at GameStop right now. Shulk is the amiibo is at GameStop. You have to pre-order at GameStop right now to get Shulk. You know that guy who looks like Titus, except you don't want to kill him as much?
Which sadly makes sense, considering Xenoblade was a GameStop exclusive. Like, I don't agree with it, but it makes sense in a weird kind of way.
It does.
Yeah, so you can only get him, but you know it's going to be friggin' out on Amazon and eBay as soon as they buy it, because, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But at least that's what I would anticipate, but who knows? Maybe it'll be like a rare collector's item or something.
I'll doubt it, because if it's like the game itself, over here I don't think that was an exclusive, so in other countries I think that could be in more shops, therefore you're probably going to be able to find it online and it won't be that rare.
Actually, I was just remembering about...
It just happens, because ironically, what I feel with GameStop exclusives is when they make something GameStop exclusive in America, and I don't mean you, Pew Pew, but other people are like, oh my god, it's so rare, But 90% of video games in the US are sold around that, are sold through GameStop. Therefore, if it's exclusive to the one place everyone buys games, it's not that exclusive or rare. It's like when Toys R Us gets an exclusive figure. It's like, well, yeah, where do you think most people buy their action figures?
Yeah. I was just getting images of like the ET thing that's buried, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I'll assume that's less now, because I assume a lot of people use Amazon too.
Yeah. But you know you can buy freaking GameStop gift cards on Amazon? I didn't know you could do that. But apparently you can still buy it through GameStop and technically buy it on Amazon.
You can buy Amazon gift cards at GameStop, so it makes sense.
And did you know, Pew Pew, if you build a snowman and put an N64 control pad within its hand, it turns into Richter?
I want to try that now. If it doesn't work, though, I'm going to have to sue Richter for false advertising.
He can't be in all the snowmans at once, to be fair.
What is he, Albus Dumbledore now?
But over to Rick for his news.
Okay, well, going along with that, they also showed the next lineup of amiibos. I believe this is Wave 3, because it says they're coming out January 22nd in Japan. And I believe, because Wave 1, at least in the US, comes out with Smash Brothers on 22nd or something, 4th of November. And then supposedly in December is Wave 2, so I assume this is Wave 3.
Wave 2, at least here, Wave 2 is definitely December something, like 17th-ish, because that's when my Luigi, it's been pre-ordered, comes out.
Nice.
I was like, oh, I thought it was Wave 1.
Yeah, I think there's at least one in every wave I want. Anyway, but they showed them off. There's Emo Peach, we got Bowser, Toon Link, Sheik, Ike, the giant gorilla Ike, Meta Knight, who, well, actually, him and Toon Link both suffer from that production model versus actual model and bad design, so they just have a clear pole shoved up their ass, which, great. DDD, the aforementioned Shulk. Huh?
I believe that's not a clear pole. I believe that is the Toon Master pole.
Oh. It might as
XGR
well.
Canon.
Let's just hope they don't follow Real Ink and make it yellow, because it's even in a worse place. We also have Mole's favorite Sonic, and then probably one of my most anticipated amiibos. They have Mega Man, who thankfully is standing there, so I don't think they have to add anything to him to not make him fall over. And then last, but probably not least, Lucario. So it's pretty cool that they showed those.
I don't know if they needed anything for Sonic falling over. He looked kind of cool when I saw the Sonic one. I was like, oh, that looks cool. But I also saw the Toon Link one, and he looked cool, which means I'm guessing I saw the picture, not the actual production.
Yeah. Well, I imagine these are because the thing is, last time with the like prototypes, they all had clear, and then like when they made them for real, some had like odd colors, and you're like, why? But yeah, these I think these are less. These might be between the two, because they still look really, like, especially Shulk looks a little too detailed that I don't think it's a production sample. But
is it just me, or does anyone think they probably should have gone the same way as Disney Infinity figures? I know some of the Skylanders are sort of like this, but these are more posed, if you will. Like, each one of them is more. If they want to put them in a dramatic pose, they'll be like crouched down or holding their weapon or something, and the base will look like something from that world. They're not on like little poles. That would have been so much better to just have like Link stood on grass with his sword.
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of these people, they could do still interesting poses while keeping them somewhat, firm on the ground. Like Samus, I don't think she has any additional stuff, but she's like standing and it looks fine. But like, Toon Link, I don't even think his foot is on the ground. It's like him running. Sheik is, it looks like she's jumping. And like Meta Knight's flying, and you're like, no, you're gonna have to. You could still do a good pose while they're, like the Disney Infinity figures and like Skylanders, where they're on the base enough that they're sturdy.
Yeah, like Meta Knight, if you want to do him in a flying pose, do him in a flying pose and make the base a cloud. Thus, he's flying.
Yeah.
that just seems weird. Yeah, some of those poses seem weird. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so. But that was that. I kind of wish Mega Man had his arm out like he was shooting, because this one he's just kind of holding it up next to his head like he did shoot, and I guess there's massive recoil. I don't know, but it still looks pretty cool.
I'm just glad Sonic and Samus weren't just a ball.
I remember joking about that with Sonic, that they were just going to take the Kirby one and just don't put on the feet or the arms and just paint it blue and be like, he's doing the spin dash.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
Is it also wrong? At some point during Smash Bros., I want a cutscene of Sonic doing the spin dash, Metroid turning into a ball and rolling, then suddenly both transform back and he just looks at her with love eyes.
That would be adorable.
I mean, he's kissed humans before. Fucking Sonic 06. Why not Metroid? Come on.
Why not Zoidberg?
But my mini news, which is a little debatable, but I don't know if anyone else here will agree based on this news. I think EA may have given up on Xbox. A little bit, at least, or tried to be sneaky. They've brought their subscription service to the Xbox One, which has now got 10 million consoles sold. Whoop. And as we all know, it was an exclusive service, and they weren't going to do that on PlayStation. They've now teamed with Sony. On PlayStation Now, you can get Mirror's Edge, Mass Effect 2, Dead Space 3, Bejeweled 3, and NBA Jam on Fire Edition. All will be available to stream starting from December the 2nd over there, according to the PlayStation official blog. Each game can be rented for a week for roughly $1 per day. However, additional rental prices and durations will be offered. PlayStation Now offers users the ability to rent selected PS3 games on various devices. The open beta is currently going on PS4, PS3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation TV, and select Sony televisions in North America. The streaming service is expected to hit Europe next year. So, people's thoughts?
It sounds fun.
It was on the PS3, you said, right?
Yeah, it's on 4, 3, Vita, PlayStation TV, and PlayStation TVs, or Sony TVs, I should say.
So streams like Mass Effect 2 to a PS4. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping when it streams them, it lets you do the share stuff, like take a fit picture or stream it or something. That'd be great.
That would be cool.
That would be really friggin' awesome.
However, I will say just quickly with the PlayStation stuff, PlayStation Now, I don't like the prices. It should have been, and I understand why they didn't, because different developers want different prices based upon their games, thinking their games deserve more than this game, yada yada yada, all bullshit politics. It should have been like Netflix. You subscribe to PlayStation Now for say $8 a month or something like that, or $9.99, and basically you can then stream a whole library of games to your console. That would have been much better. This one seems weird, like $1 a day. I don't know if that's better or worse than some of the ones or other companies like Redbox or the renting ones in the US do, or if it's better, or if it. And these are just for these games too, because some games have been priced ridiculously high for renting them too.
Well, for Redbox and Netflix, not Netflix, for Redbox, it is $1 a day for movies. I'm not sure about games. Richter would know because he got the. I just found out through Richter that they had friggin' games. But it's $1 there for general Redbox.
I like how she says all that and says, yeah, that's the information I've got. I only found this out via Richter, and then talks about it more as if he's not here, and if Richter is somehow the conch.
I don't know if they know that I found it out through Richter.
No, I was kidding. But how much is it via Redbox and stuff? Out of curiosity, because I obviously don't use it.
Yeah, it's like $2 for a day's rental, which is basically when you rent it one day, it's due back the next day by 9 p.m.
So on some games that could be better. On other games it might be worse, because I believe not all games are priced equally on the PlayStation Now, which seems like a big mistake, but that's pretty cool with the $1. I will also make a note of something about this bothered me a little bit with the EA selected ones. Mass Effect 2, Dead Space, free, Bejeweled, free. Where the hell's the ones before it, so you can actually know what the hell's going on in the series up until this point?
That's a good point.
Like Mass Effect 1, then Mass Effect 2, then Mass Effect 3 would have been logical. Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. Bejeweled, well, you get the point, you can count. Except for Pew Pew, so it's 1, 2, 3, Pew Pew.
At the very least, they got the best Mass Effect on there.
I could agree with that. And they also got NBA Jam on Fire. I like that game, but no. Let's go to our big news. With Anastasia Laserbeam talking live from inside the lair of the clitoris. Go.
What the Wow. That sounds like a very scary dungeon. Okay, I'm gonna mentally recover from that. Alright. Telltale Games reveals the plot about the Game of Thrones video game they're doing. Basically, the whole player plunges in the world of the House of the Forester. And pretty much it takes place in a way that they doesn't really affect the main character, so it can still be in the continuity of the Telltale's games, sort of. You know, like it doesn't have many major characters, and kill them off. And you know how like in the The Walking Dead one, the Walking Dead one, they said, "Hi, I'm Glenn. I'm from Walking Dead. Now I'm gonna get the fuck out of here," and go back to my own shit. It's kind of like that. But it says you'll be able to go to King's Landing and a bunch of other iconic places. Ironrath, the Wall. It looks pretty cool. It says it's let's see. Okay, $25 to $30 if you want to play all 6 episodes. So that's not bad.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Telltale do make good games. But over to Rick for his news.
All right, so even though we're about 2 weeks off of day after Thanksgiving sales, also known as Black Friday, several of the ads have leaked. As of the actually, no, it's a positive connotation, so take that as what you will.
I don't leave my house on Black Friday.
You don't leave your house on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Never.
I have to work, but that's about it.
That's a secret. It's always Black Friday.
But the only ads, as per when this was recorded, that I don't think have been leaked yet are GameStop and Toys R Us. But there's some decent deals, like Shadow of Mordor is 25 at a couple places.
Nice.
A lot of people are throwing in like gift cards or free controllers with the Xbox One with the that stacks with the $50 off, so that's pretty cool. There's also a PS4 bundle that comes with Last of Us and something else. I don't remember. Maybe GTA 5, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, there's some pretty good deals, so I recommend people check that out. Otherwise, so you can at least plan where you're going to shop. And there are various places that show it, what the ads are, and have different tips on when to go, so you won't have to punch people to get a game and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. There's definitely some stuff I'm looking at getting there. So.
But Rick, if all the thousands and thousands and thousands of people in America who listen to our podcast all follow the advice of that and all go when some people aren't going to be there so they don't have to punch people, won't it be overly crowded so they have to punch people?
Yes.
I'm kidding with that. But it just reminded me of we got an advert over here called Secret Vacations, and it goes like, shh, secret getaways, the best kept secret in holidays. No one knows this, but if you log onto our site, you can get the latest deals in hotels. Not many people know this, so they'll always be there. And I'm like, you keep advertising the shit out of this. Everyone knows this. I know this. I don't even fucking shop for it. But this one, if it actually gives proper advice for Black Friday, that does sound cool, because I assume with Black Friday most people make the mistake, like some people do here with bank holidays and stuff, of showing up early to try and beat people, but everyone shows up early to try and beat people. Which is always hilarious.
You kind of have to show up early if you want the big stuff, like those dirt cheap TVs or iPads or whatnot. But a lot of times the games, even though they're really good deals, they have so many of them. So like, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Like Best Buy has, let's say they have Disney Infinity 2.0 for like $40. They're probably not going to sell out of that. They probably got a shipment of a lot of them. So if you don't have to get up at like 3 a.m. or whatever to go stand in line. A lot of times you can go into the store at like 8, 9 in the morning.
What if one guy, Rick, buys them all?
Then you should have stood in front of him when you wanted to get your PS4.
Yeah, or you'd be at least a complete idiot if you didn't at least ask him, hey, how many are you planning to purchase at this exact point in time, just in case they run out of the location? Because he could have easily turned around and said to you, hey, I'm planning to buy 4. Ah, cool, how many did you think this store has in stock? If he mentions that's only 4, you could have gone, oh, well, cool, and took off and left you and not wasted time. But, hindsight.
I'm pretty sure that after I talked to him for an hour and he didn't bring it up, he wasn't going to tell me.
You didn't ask.
I didn't ask, but I'm pretty sure at that point he probably would have told me in hindsight. I'm pretty sure he was laughing the whole time, going like, ha ha ha. Because we both were in the same line. He knew exactly how many were in the store and then bought them all. So I'm pretty sure he knew.
In his defense, when you told me, I laughed.
I'm sure you did.
In his defense, when I told Rick, he laughed.
I'm sure that's also true.
I felt bad, but it was kind of funny.
In hindsight, in his behalf, when Richter told his wife, she laughed.
What?
When Richter's wife told all of her friends, they laughed. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we didn't go that far. But no, like I said, the Black Friday deals do sound cool. Wasn't it last week where you told us about a cool Xbox One as well? The Xbox One bundle.
Yeah, where it was. They basically dropped the price by $50. So there's
and included shit ton of stuff. It's over 50.
Yeah, so it's like they cut it 50, and then also if you go on Black Friday around that time, some stores are throwing in like a gift card, or I think Best Buy is throwing in an extra controller for one of the bundles, and so they have also they're trying to sweeten the deal past that, which is most people predicted. So it's like, yeah, if you haven't gotten one yet, it's even better if you can get one then.
That's the thing I might try to do, because I've been thinking about getting an Xbox One for next year, and I might get it during Black Friday, just because if the price, if I can find a good deal, like relatively in my area.
But you don't leave the house during Black Friday.
Well, see, I personally won't go, but my friend's mom goes at Walmart And she lives near here, so.
Oh, that's where Jim's mum works. Okay.
Oh,
Ah,
fuck off.
nice.
I'm kidding. But no.
No, show
Right.
Mark.
My big news, and this is a little disappointing, possibly for Wife Blade. Does she
Uh-oh.
play any of the wrestling games when you get them?
Not usually.
Okay, so
She
it won't
used
be
to,
that disappointing for her.
way back on she hasn't played any on like PS3 and 360 though. It was
Ah,
before
so
that.
it won't be that disappointing for her. I found this a little disappointing though. They've mentioned in a report that came from Game Informer, it was revealed that players will not have the option to create divas in the game on Xbox One or PS4. Visual concept director Lionel Jinks confirmed the news that along with creatable divas, the options of create an arena, create championships, and story designer will not make the cut. These features have been available in the past, and some of these are actually on last gen versions of the game. They're just not on this one. They said this decision was extremely difficult but a necessary one in order to deliver a more focused, polished game, Jinx writes. The primary reason we did not announce these changes earlier is due to the team working until last minute to retain as many of the features as possible.
Mm.
I will say, while the not being able to create divs is disappointing, the rest of the stuff I can kind of understand. Same thing with the divs, I can kind of understand it as much as I don't want to, because the graphics and stuff have apparently been built from the ground up for this one. And like when EA built stuff from the ground up for UFC, the video game, it took them 3 years before they actually released the game. They're doing this within a year. Like when you create a wrestler, all the stuff from that, a load of the parts and stuff will have been stuff that's either been redone with the new graphics or at least scanned or something. And I don't think they could have done that with all the pieces and had it out on time. So next year, hopefully, we'll get them all back.
Yay!
Mm.
But what does Rick think?
What does Rick do?
I mean, I guess I can understand it. It is disappointing. Because I think pretty much I would make like one diva at least. So it kind of sucks that they took it out. And I part of me like believes that explanation of like that they were working on it, and part of me is like, yeah, I don't know if that's 100% the truth. I feel like they're like, we're probably gonna have to cut this, but let's not say anything.
Yeah, let's not say to a load of our audience that love divas, we're not going to let them create one because this is going to be backlash. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Let's just sweep this under the rug. But
Yeah.
I will also say it's also worth noting, based on that game, since we discussed it a little bit in the past and more's come out, you only got 25 CAW slots on the PS4.
Oh,
If
wow.
you edit a superstar's attire, because you can edit their entire attire this year from what people are showing off, like you can take, like, say, Seth Rollins and put him in his new outfit, save it, and do it that way. It does use a superstar slot, though.
Oh, wow.
But I will be honest, I create me. I normally have the Crispy here for local play, my brother and a couple of friends and stuff like that. I never come close to 25. With
Yeah.
being able to do the update to the tires, I'll probably get closer to it. It's not a big deal for me, but for some people it would be, where they only play with like an entire roster of CAWs.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times too, it seems like there's a big, I don't want to say market because there's no buying, but like there's a big, a lot of, it's popular for people to make past superstars, and then I think there's probably enough people that will like download like tons of people that well like this is a bad example for this year, but like in previous years, like a lot of times people would make like 7 different Stings or Jeff Hardys and stuff like that, and people would be like, oh, I need this guy and this guy. I want to recreate WCW and all. So I can see that 25 would inhibit some people, but I imagine that on average, probably most people hit that or
Yeah,
can work with it.
I agree. There does seem to be a large market for it, and I saw loads of fans were angry about this because they do use CAWs heavily. I
Yeah.
wasn't that bad because I'll be honest, I didn't download many CAWs of superstars, and even when I did, I deleted them shortly afterwards, just because. For me personally, I don't like how different they look compared to the wrestlers, and I
Yeah.
don't want a whole roster full of ugly characters, because if I wanted a whole roster filled with fucking ugly ass looking wrestlers, I'd just go play Warzone. I'm sorry, Warzone and Attitude Era. The graphics not good. The gameplay not good. At least to me. The only good part was playing his head. But I don't know how you feel. I don't know if you played them. I didn't like those ones.
I did. Like they were fun, but the controls are definitely weird. It was like playing Street Fighter. And no, the graphics were terrible, but I think part of that's PS1. Although one thing that was funny was one of my friends. That was like the first one where we could like make ourselves, and we were like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And his entrance, for some reason, it was like one of the best entrances he's ever had. I don't know why. Just maybe like partially with the crappy graphics, but it like had dark circles under his eyes because it looked like he hadn't slept, and just for some reason, even though it was really crappy like polygons, like the way he looked in his entrance like just looked really good. We're like, man, that looks good. Too bad it looks not good.
Yeah. I still remember with those, speaking of the PS1 ones with graphics, I still remember the first time I played SmackDown on the PS1. I played the Warzone and stuff, and I was like, cool, and I had fun with them. I had fun with them at the time, but I didn't think they were overly great, if that makes sense. Then I remember playing SmackDown 1, I was like, holy fuck, at these graphics, it's really hilarious, because if you go and look at them now, and look at those graphics, it's kind of horrible. Yeah. And I remember that had superstar heads before it became a feature that had to be promoted, where you could take like Undertaker's head or a dinosaur's head and put them on top of yourself and just make a body and just make a CAW. Like, be honest, Rick, you used the dinosaur head, didn't you?
I don't think I did. Wait, the SmackDown games?
Yeah, the first SmackDown game. Or was it the second where it let you do that? It was one of the two.
I don't know. I played a little bit of the first one. I really didn't like one of the things they did in that game, so I never owned it. And then I didn't play another one until like early 360 era, late PS2. Like stuff like Here Comes the Pain, I only saw that after the fact when Marcus showed me them because he wanted to show me creative animation and stuff. So actually, what's weird is like that area of games I didn't play a lot of the SmackDown ones.
Oh, that's a shame. You missed out on SmackDown Just Bring It. You missed out on great, groundbreaking commentary. Like, I want to see the Undertaker do The Last Ride.
But I did play. Well, I didn't play the SmackDown. I played No Mercy in WrestleMania 2000.
I loved No Mercy in WrestleMania and WCW vs NWO games and stuff. They were great.
Those are really good games. Even today, those are really good because I guess it was like 2 years ago at this point, but I remember I like busted it out and I was like, I want to see if this is still good, and I'm like, man, this is still fun.
And just because it's ECW week or week on the WWE Network, available now for $9.99 in America. Did you ever play the ECW game they made? The ECW, I think they may have made two after the ones who made Warzone and Attitude Era, because they had like an Inferno match and stuff on there, which the Inferno match was hard to play, but it was kind of cool. But they were kind of cool to play some of the matches if you like the old Warzone stuff, if that makes sense at the time. Like some of the like hardcore matches were fun, but the Inferno match was weird.
I need to. I have one of the ECW ones, the N64 version that I bought at like a garage sale for $1.
Nice.
I still have not got around to playing it. I kind of bought it because I was like, this game's probably not good, but I like ECW, and now I have an ECW game.
You need to hook that up this week and Twitch it under the name ECW Week and see if anyone who has the network or doesn't would be like, oh, cool, and clicks on it and like, what the fuck am I looking at?
That'd be awesome, especially if I had a soundboard with like Joey Styles like commentary, because I don't know if the game has any kind of audio, like digitized speech. So it'd be kind of funny to just do stuff and just hit a button and it's like, oh my god.
I think it'd be a lot funnier if you just did that when you're on your stream when you're doing it.
I would want to do it like really bad though, like it was part of the game. So I'd do it like what you said with SmackDown.
See, also wrong. At one point, I would like to play.
Massive
Nice. Is it also wrong? At some point, I'd like to play if I could ever get it to stream like one of the old WCW games and just take the piss with it. with stuff like, as I'm doing an arcade, oh my god, shades of the future Randy Orton. With a diamond cut.
That would be awesome.
But now, let's go on to our catch-up.
Yay!
First up, Pew Pew.
Alright. Well, I've been playing Super Smash Brothers on the 3DS, and I don't know if I said this already, I probably have, but I can't wait for the Wii U version. It's gonna be so much better.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that. In fact, I once believe you went on record as saying fuck the Wii U and F for Nintendo.
I don't think that I ever said that, ever. I think you imagined it in your dreams. Anyway.
And
So-
I might dream with that.
Also believable. So, yeah, it's really fun. I like this Smash run. I love collecting, which I can now do and collect more than anybody else. Yay.
Yeah, it took you long enough.
I know, but I can do it. So, yeah. It begs to be in like a higher definition because I don't know, it can be look really grainy at times and makes me like, argh.
Oh, you just remind me the thing that pissed me off with the Nintendo Direct a while back when
Yeah,
they
and
did
the
the Smash Brothers one.
yeah. Like he said, the Nintendo Direct pretty much sandbagged the friggin' 3DS. It's like, it's not even comparable! Fuck you for buying the 3DS version! Ah, you suck dick!
I don't mean that. I just mean when they did the Nintendo Direct and they said 50 facts you may not know about the Wii U Smash Brothers. One of the first ones was it's in HD, and I'm like, it's a HD console. I'd be pissed if it wasn't in HD. You'd be going out your way to make it suck if it was not in HD.
Yeah,
I mean,
the only reason I got this one is
who doubted it would ever be in HD?
the only real reason I got the 3DS one is so I could play my sister and her friends and like a few other people who had the 3DS version. But honestly, like that's all I could really care about. I like that you can have armor and stuff. I hope the collectibles and stuff, or not the armor, but the customization for your clothes and your me. I hope that's more extensive because I don't know. I've got a lot of shit, but I still only have like 3 or 4 basic costumes per person, and it's like I don't know. I don't find any of them aesthetically appealing at all. They all look like fucking too complicated mesh and ugly. But like, so I hope that's like better on the Wii U one, because it's just a bunch of shit that you never want to frickin' your meet and wear. You know, you know what? They're all mech suits basically. So the Richter, you would love it, because there's like 4. There's one of like 4 different titles, but each one is a mech suit. But this one's like dragon armor, blah 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 armor, blah blah blah. It's like they're all fucking mech suit. Just say mech suit 1, mech suit 2, mech suit 3.
Oh, come on! It's a Nintendo game. You're playing as your me, which is a female. No female in a Nintendo game will ever wear a mech suit.
Well, that's all the freaking the one with the Mega Man one has. So she has to wear like some kind of mech suit.
That's right. In this podcast, only the first Metroid game is canon up until the ending. If the ending's non-canon, it's just a little tease joke. It's like an outtake that they put at the end, like the film.
I do not know. I've never played Metroid, so.
I hate you so much. I want to inject you with AIDS so you die all slow.
Wow. That's aggressive.
How's that different to your dying of fire?
Okay, so.
Well, Wikipedia states it.
Yeah, so it's fine, but a lot of this stuff a lot of trophies and collectibles and such, just feel like, hey, more shit. It doesn't mean anything, but more shit. Yeah.
I will say, as much as it may surprise you, I'm actually slightly different with the Smash Brothers collectibles. I love the trophies because I love zooming in and looking at them and being like, oh, I remember this game. Oh, it's such a cool pose. But
I like them too. I really like them. I just don't like them on the 3DS because the way they have them, it just like they have the trophy rush, and it pisses me the fuck off because a lot of times it'll do this fucking stupid thing where like you have to get your bar up so the trophies will drop, and if you get your bar up enough, a lot of times it'll decide to destroy the platform that you're on, so all the trophies you're trying to get full and you can't collect them, which is like, what the fuck? Why do that why choose to do that right there as I'm getting the trophy? And it's done that like 4 times. You're gonna make the freaking ground, and the ground doesn't come back until you die. Like, it doesn't like disappear. It disappears, and then so at some point this happens, and you have to die because it'll disappear and like won't come back until you die. And I'm serious. I had like a freaking Kirby, and I was floating up there for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, it should probably come back by now. And I'm like, so then that character just died, right? And then it came back, and I'm like, really? Really? It doesn't come back at any period of time. You have to die. I'm like,
I'm gonna say that's gonna suck for people Marcus Shadow's age, because they always have difficulty getting that bar up.
Yeah. Anyway, so the second game I played was Lego Batman 2. I tried to play it on my computer, and I couldn't get my PS3 linked up, a PS3 controller linked up with this. So I just bought it again on the freaking
Master
PS3.
Race.
It's a fucking cripple race. At least for me, anyway. And and at work they gave me this other, like, it was on the elephant table. People get rid of stuff and put on the table for free. And there's this PC freaking controller that like was unopened, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And then that shit doesn't work because all the buttons work, but the freaking analog sticks don't work on it. I'm like, what the fuck? So 2 controllers I couldn't pair. But like on the PS3, it's really awesome. It's really fun. I always love all the Lego games. This is no different. Voice acting, because I played the first Batman, makes it like a ton better and stuff. I really like that. It's always good.
I will say I have something in common with you slightly this week, which I could talk about now, so it doesn't break the rules of the catch up. I recently watched Lego Batman. DC Hero, Lego Batman 2, and by watch I don't mean like a let's play or anything like that. They released the story as a movie, which, yes, I had the second game, and I purchased the movie too. And I'm like, well, I want to refresh my memory before the game comes out here on Friday. Fuck it, I just watched the film. Because I do like the film.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. I like the Save the Citizen in Peril thing. And I don't know why, but Robin seems like badass. I like Robin in this one.
I do like Save the Citizen in Peril. It's more funny when it's Stan Lee in Peril.
Yes.
Just because it's a Stan Lee cameo per level, I don't know why that's still wonderful. But yeah, I love the Lego games. Really hyped up for Lego Batman 3 on Friday, which is already out in America, but not here.
But they don't count.
Yeah.
So it's been fun.
Cool. Over to our big, beautiful, bold post-credit scene.
All right. So one of the games I was playing this week. Sunset Overdrive. So first up, played some Sunset Overdrive.
Nice.
That game is pretty cool. It's very active though, like because it's in essence it's a third-person shooter, just with a lot of that Tony Hawk grinding and all this other stuff, and that part's fine. But sometimes it's kind of hard for me at least, to keep track of like all I'm doing, because like sometimes in third-person shooter, where if you're like waiting, you can stop while you're aiming, but a lot of times when you're grinding, you can't. You can slow down a bit, but you can't like stop. And so sometimes you're like busy shooting a guy, and you're like, oh crap, and you have to like turn back because you missed a turn or whatever. And so like it takes some practice to get down, but it's pretty cool. Definitely does not take itself too seriously. And one thing I think that's really cool, I wish more games did this. I know that there's not a huge audience for it, but Brutal Legend did this first place I saw, and they actually have a gore and profanity filter that you can toggle on and off from the options menu, which is nice. I love it when games do that. Yeah, so like I can play it, and like if I played at night, I can get it, and I get all the fucks and explosions and guts and shit everywhere. But then like if it's like daytime, my kid comes down, turn it off, and it just has bleeping instead of bad words, and then I don't feel so shitty as a parent. So
that's the exact same reason I love it. Like my nephew loves the wrestling games. Before he plays, I turn blood off. He has fun. Yeah. Then when I'm playing, I turn blood on, and I want to see him bleed. Yeah. Bleed like a government mule.
Yeah, I think more games need that. Especially like even like Diablo would be nice for it because it's fun to watch the people explode in like Diablo 3, but
I believe
sometimes
Mortal
like
Kombat has that. It's called a power button.
it's it's called the Super Nintendo version.
Nice.
I actually had that version because I didn't have a Genesis back in the day.
Nice. I ironically didn't have that one. I had some of the Street Fighters on that, and same with the Mega Drive. I had just
Nice.
had the Mega Drive version of Mortal Kombat. That's kind of weird that they did cut out all the gore and stuff from Mortal Kombat. That's weird. That'd be
Yeah,
like
it's
cutting out all the
well,
shooting from Halo. It'd be like, what's the point of playing this now?
I'm trying to think. They still had the fatalities, but there was just no like blood. It was like white, which okay. Let's just be fair here. That game came out. I was like 12 or 13, and you're like a teenage kid. The white is way funnier than the red. Like it's like, oh, we replaced it with a white fluid, and just like when you're a teenager, you just snicker and you're like, ha 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 ha, and it
Oh,
almost made it.
you were imagining it was snow.
Yeah, melting
That,
snow.
that it has to be snow.
Yeah. Well, that works with Sub-Zero, so that's all I ever fought or played as. No, I'm just kidding.
So basically, it was like the PS3 version of Mortal Kombat when you did a fatality to Kratos.
Yes.
Seriously, why? Just why would that? Why would you remove fatalities to Kratos? He's famous for being in a gory game
Yeah.
where he dies a lot.
Yeah, he does die in the game, which I don't know. Licensing. But yeah, game's cool. Definitely want to play that more. I haven't tried any of the co-op or anything because I don't think any of my friends have it.
Oh, did you get? Wait, have you got an Xbox One?
Yes, I got the Sunset Overdrive bundle.
Nice.
It looks so much fun.
Does it have the
It does.
camera?
No,
Ah,
that bundle didn't have it. So,
yeah,
but
that's
it
fair
was
enough.
50 off, and I had a 10% off coupon. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Nice.
Very early Christmas. That thing is huge as hell. I just want to say. It's like I actually measured it. It's like it's like a block, but it's pretty much the same size as the original PS3. And I
Wait,
can't tell if I'm more shocked that the PS3 was that big or that this is that big.
wait, if they're gonna retcon the original Xbox by naming this one Xbox One, which that's the only reason they could have called it Xbox One is to retcon the original, why would you make it big as the original? That would make no sense.
Yeah.
No, I know they didn't retcon the original.
Well, just remember the first Xbox was 1, the second one was a 3, and the third one is a 1. It's Capcom. But anyway,
Or if the next one's an 8, it's George Lucas.
nice. The other game I played this week, also on Xbox One, was Minecraft, the Xbox One edition, because my friend also he bought the Assassin's Creed bundle, and because basically his was 50 off, and then there was also where he got it. They also had extra $20 off. So he's like, yeah, I'll get that. I'm like, okay, cool. And
Nice.
since we both play Minecraft, we bought that. We upgraded it. It's the $5 to get the Xbox One version because we have the 360 version. And it's awesome that the map is bigger. It saves ridiculously fast. Like I asked him at one point, I was like, "Do you have autosave on?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It shows a little symbol in the corner." I was like, "Oh, it saves that fast?" Yes, it does actually save that fast. I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." But also, we're a lot, at least me personally, I'm a lot less shameless about using uh, materials because the map is like 25 times or some ridiculous amount bigger. So it's like I'll use iron and make a pickaxe, and I'll just use an iron pickaxe because I know that there's plenty of crap. And we played that for way too much, way too long. We found a village, and then he put it on hard because he's crazy. That's what I say at least. And so like we were trying to defend the town the first night, so zombies were like busting down the doors and like infecting the villagers and stuff. And eventually, I made a mine. I made an iron golem to protect our last like 2 people, and one of our people ran out into the jungle. We eventually got him back. We corralled him back, but it basically ended that we lost all of our villagers. Um, and by the time we had the iron golem and walled the entire thing, we lost them all. So then he found another village, and we spent probably 5 hours building a railway from one village to the next, and then we kidnapped. We forcibly moved, not kidnapped, villagers from that one by like shoving them into a minecart, and we brought them back to the original village to try to repopulate it. We were actually surprised it would work. I didn't know if they would like, because we thought they might try to run down the track back, like no, I want to go back to my home, but they didn't. They actually seemed to have adopted it, so it's just kind of funny, and it's fun. That game, I still like it.
Nice. I do like Minecraft. It's pretty good. I know, like, my niece and nephew just love Minecraft and all stuff to do with Minecraft. Like, they can't stop watching. What the hell's his name? Stampy Longnose from YouTube, who makes Minecraft videos. I don't know if your kids have watched that yet, but they're just addicted to it to the point where they won't watch other TV shows at this point.
I don't know if my son has seen that one. He watches whatever one has Dr. Triorce in it, and he has like the little Minecraft books, and he reads those all the time. So when I'm sitting there playing it, he keeps sitting there, and a mile a minute he's just talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." So I decided, I was like, "Fine, like." Okay, I was like, there's an achievement in this one for doing 9 hearts of damage. How do I do that? And I was like, ha ha ha. And he's like, well, like the TNT will do 9 hearts. And I'm like, oh wow, he actually knows. Like I wasn't sure if he was gonna have to go look it up, and no, he like remembered it. And I was like, oh well, okay then. So I was just like asking him questions. It's like let's like put his knowledge to use. Let's see what he remembers, and maybe that'll encourage him to read and learn more. But so it was very surreal to sit there and like ask him questions about it, whether or not I knew the answer. Because sometimes I would just ask him stuff, and a lot of times he would just volunteer information regardless of if I wanted to. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to be responsible. I'll get him involved because I don't want him touching the Xbox One controller. He can play the 360 version.
Wait. He volunteered information despite you not asking. Does he have a mustache by any chance, and have you done a DNA test?
Nice. That would be a trick, but all the way across the country.
Hey, I wanted to do it across the room now. It's a horrible mental image. Speaking of inappropriate white liquids.
It all ties
See,
back
you
together.
just entered pew pew with that then.
Don't say it. I'm talking to myself there. I'm like, no, don't add to that.
Don't add to what we just did to pew pew.
Yes.
No. But both of those games sound cool. And since you got the Xbox One, please tell me if you're going to get Project Spark, because I really want to know how that game is.
I downloaded it. I have not run it yet. And I actually, so my friend tried it out, and I'm trying to remember what he said. He liked it, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I like that. I want to get that starter pack, though, so I have more stuff to use. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I wasn't sure. Because they actually, it's like a free download, and I'm like, oh, okay, but they sell a pack, so I'm not quite sure how all that works together. Hopefully I'll try it in the next week. But
I assume, based on the fact it came out around one of the launch games when Microsoft was experimenting with microtransactions, I think it'll work like a free-to-play MMO where you can play it for free, but there's obviously going to be loads of microtransactions, which is fair enough. I mean, if they're giving you something for free.
So big. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving you something for free, so that's cool. And obviously, the microtransactions help the developers.
Yeah.
Except for some games, i.e. most MMOs, where they take the microtransactions way too fucking far.
Yeah, they do.
Hi, DCUO. But no, the games I've played this week is, first of all, I'll get the worst one out the way, The Binding of Isaac on PS4.
Yay!
I will say, if you're listening to this, avoid that game. I know it's free on PlayStation Plus, but it's not even worth free. You couldn't pay me to play this. You couldn't pay me to play this. It's horrible. The controls are shitty. The gameplay's pretty horrible. The characters look like ass. The bosses are pretty much easy to do because they're pretty much like any other video game boss, to the point of being so generic it's not funny. It's just a really horrible, lazy-ass game. I get the sense that the developer didn't like games. They just wanted money.
Not at all. it's like amazing, and it's a beautiful form of self-expression in the very like I don't know, tongue-in-cheek way, and it's awesome. And the controls are great. And it's the same developer that made Super Meat Boy. So if you like that kind of style, then you'd also like this.
Sorry, I kept doing them because I thought you were making a joke. No, that game is horrible. Oh, it's so horrible. Avoid it. Avoid it now.
I respect your opinion, but I think some
my
people
next game I
might want
played
to
this
try
week is the Crew Beta, which the Crew Beta is horrible, but better than Binding of Isaac. It's basically Grand Theft Auto in terms of how it played, without getting out the car, shooting people, or doing any of the stuff that makes Grand Theft Auto good. It's like the least fun part of Grand Theft Auto racing as a game.
I will definitely echo that sentiment.
Echo! No.
Because I almost took that one. I knew you were gonna, so I figured I would chime in a tiny bit. But what's funny was, I asked for, because they had the beta signups, right? So I'm like, okay, so I asked for a PS4 code, and then like 3 days later, they're like, here's an Xbox One code. I'm like, well, I can use this now, but that's fine.
Now we know why he bought the Xbox One.
Yes,
he just wanted to play his beta. He's like, oh, you think I can't play this? I'll show you.
Because you had it, and I was like, well, I don't really want to play it, but it's a beta. I'll try it out, and I wanted to try it on PS4 because I didn't know if we could like play together or something. And then they gave me an Xbox One code, and I'm like, fine.
Yeah. Walks into GameStop, looks, stares at the guy behind the counter. The guy's like, you have a look on your face like you want to show the developers of something. A big fuck you. Clearly, here you go, and just hands him the Devil May Cry Classic Collection in HD. He's like, no, I'm not here for that. Oh, I got a Crew beta on Xbox One. I had a PS4. He goes, oh, okay, it's the beta on another console that you don't own situation. Fair enough. Let me help you out, brother.
Pulls out a loaner Xbox One.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be hilarious if that was all true. But yeah, so you agree with how it played? Yeah, I did not like how that played. It played like Grand Theft Auto's Racing, which is great for a sandbox shooting game. It's not great for a racing game.
Well, like one of the things are like it has the U.S. map. You can drive from like to San Francisco and New York, and I'm like, cool. So I tried to do that. The problem is after a few minutes, it would like put me back. I guess it really wanted me to do the mission. And I'm like, well, then I can't drive. I don't know. One guy said he drove from like New York to San Francisco, so I guess maybe I just have to do the missions first, and then it'll let me free drive. But it just kind of annoyed me because I didn't want to. Like, I tried to do the race, and I was like, I don't really like the way this controls. I want to drive. I want to just see how far I can get, see if it's real. And then it's like, it would put me back, and it's like, hey, if you're late, champ, they want to see the local boy. And I'm like, you just teleported me like 20 miles. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, my guess is you have to unlock each area, then you can go across in one go. But yeah, I just didn't like how it played. I mean, it might be fun for some people, but I will not be purchasing that game, I don't think. Some of the stuff with the like co-oping missions and stuff could be awesomely fun. The variations on missions, like being able to drive and bash a car and stuff to take them out, good. Although I will say with that, when I played that, I passed the pad to the Crispy for that and let him play the crap out the beta while he was here because he's more of the racing expert. I mean, like he gets most of the racing games and does really fucking well on all of them, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's basically his genre. He was racing against this truck that was one of his early missions, like one of the beginning missions. He couldn't keep up with the fucking truck on one of the start missions. In fact, the only reason he successfully did the mission is because A, he accidentally hit co-op, and B, it was because he skidded out of control at a certain point without being able to turn. Then when he managed to turn successfully round, he managed to drive forward towards where he saw where the truck was on the mini-map, and the truck happened to be going sideways, so he clipped into the side and took off like 40 of its health. And then one of the other cars managed to take off 10 later on, but it was like and finish him off. But still, the difficulty spike in that game was ridiculous. I did not enjoy the crew. It looked good. It has some great features. I'm not going to say avoid that one, like I said, avoid Binding of Isaac, like the plague. I will say some people may get some enjoyment out of it. I can see that being a game some people could like. I just didn't. So now I believe it's on to our topic.
Yes.
Would you like to introduce the topic, Richter, as you're the one that came up with the topic this week?
Okay, so one thing I saw about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare that a lot of people were making fun of was the infamous funeral scene where you had to like press X or hold X or whatever to pay your respects and stuff, and people were making fun of that, and I was like, yeah, it's like, why don't we talk about silly, QTEs in games, and like when they try to make it like interactive, they're like, oh, I want to have the cutscene, but I want to make it interactive, so let's have you, hit buttons that correspond to maybe something, and if we, either good ones, bad ones, if we like them, hate them, there's too many, stuff like that.
Yeah, that scene you went about them, the Call of Duty one, it looked good, I'll give it that, it looked good, but you're at a funeral, it says press X to pay respects, you do it, he turns around, mourns a coffin, and then you have to press the stick to just walk in a straight line away from the funeral, and then a cutscene starts. It's like, couldn't this have just been a cutscene?
Yeah.
I get that people like interactive, but that doesn't work.
It doesn't feel interactive though. At least to me, like when it's something silly like that, like
Yeah.
it's like press up on or down on the stick to lower your head, and you're like, what? Why can't you just do like when I hit the buttons that jump or attack, not like do weird stuff like pick up the cup.
Richter, do you remember in Heavy Rain where they had like that shower scene? It's like press like or shake the controller to scrub yourself, and it's like
well, okay.
pick up soap, get dressed.
The other one that people pointed out for that game that I always remember too was like that first scene when he loses his son, and you're like hit X to keep calling his name.
Yeah, Jason, press X to Jason.
Jason.
Oh god, it's so good.
It's like hit X to call his name. Like, really? Can't he just do it while I'm running?
Yeah.
Oh god, that was so great. Oh, god, it's just every time I ever see a game now and they have that, I just say press X to Jason. Like, no matter what sound they're making, that's what I always say.
In my personal opinion, if you want to make it interactive, it should be, and I don't know if anyone here will agree or disagree with this, it should be like Mass Effect 2. And I say Mass Effect 2 because I don't remember this on the first one, where the scene will play, and in the bottom it'll say press R2 or L2 to do like a good person action or a bad person action. But you cannot do that, and the scene will play, which means it's you interacting that makes that happen. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just gameplay. It's not optional. It's forcing you to press X. That's like saying, oh, who here loves all those interactive cutscenes where at the beginning of a game where it says press start to go to the main menu?
I got a trophy for that. It was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I think some games can do those well. I mean, they're not necessarily as, like just push one button, but like in Metroid Prime 3, there was some scenes where it was like you did something different, like you had to hold the remote to like weld, like a panel off or whatever. You had to like, connect chords, and it was like different gameplay, but that at least felt it like they were annoying after, doing them 80 times. Having to go through the game a lot of times, but like just going through once or twice, they weren't too bad, and they felt like they fit. Where a lot of times I think that they kind of just shove them in a scene. They're like, oh, okay, just shake the controller to scrub the soap off of yourself. Like, really? You can just let that one go. I don't think anyone will be like, you know what? Like I just picture a focus group and people are sitting there playing it. And guys are like, I want to shake the controller to get the soap off, and they're like, and then they like jot down a note and put that in.
See, if they do that, in my opinion, that needs to be, like we've mentioned in the past, that needs to be Randy from South Park during Sarcasta Bowl. They're like full of quick team. Like, oh, this is so good. You know, I'd be even better if you added one where I could even scrub soap off myself just by shaking the pad. That'd be so good. I'd so get my money.
One way I think it really worked, I mentioned this, is in the Stanley Parable, where literally his like job or the plot for like the game is that he his job is to just press one button that the screen tells him to press a button. And so he like ends up in this like I guess what we learned is a fantasy of like a house and a wife and everything, and then a button comes up on the screen. Press like L to tell your wife that you love her. Press Q to tuck your kids into bed. And then slowly as you're doing this, the house turns back into your workplace and you're doing that daily job that he does like every single day. And it was just great. It's like press like L to make love to your wife. Press L to like abandon your children. Now like press L to die or something like that. Like, it literally said press like L to die, and you have to press it.
If there was one button on there that says press a button to host WXR, I'm pretty much guessing who this game's based upon. How Richter sees the world. He sees it like that, like press X to interact with kids, press square to interact with wife. He also has conversations, and in his head he runs some like the Mass Effect style stuff in his head, like, do I want to be a dick and tell my kid there is no Santa? Or do I want to be a nice guy and say Santa is coming? Or do I go in the middle and say, well, maybe if you behave, there could be Santa?
Well, it was other ones where it's like press Q to tell your wife you love her. It's like you could easily like not, I guess, but like it's great.
Yeah, I will say, I will give props and disprops, if that's a word, to Resident Evil 6 for this.
Tip of the hat, wag of the finger.
Resident Evil 6 had a load of QTAs in there. They were annoying. QTEs, I should say. They had a load of QTEs in there, and yeah, they went overboard, and they were done pretty bad. However, I get the sense that it wasn't like the Call of Duty ones, so I get the sense of they're just like, let's break up this cutscene and give the illusion of gameplay like they did on one of the, like some of them do. I honestly get the sense with the Resident Evil ones, they wanted them so you would feel survival-ish, because they tried to incorporate survival things in there. Great idea, great concept, I understand why they did it. It just executed poorly.
Yeah, I think 4 had a lot of those, too.
I didn't play that game. Was it, which one? Was it based on 4 the movie 1 or 4 2? No. Yeah, Resident Evil 4 may have had them, yeah.
Well, I just remember scenes when I was somewhat playing with Marcus, where it was like a boulder was rolling and it was like, mash L and R to run, and I'm like, okay, like, at least with like that scene, there's like adrenaline going, so you're like, oh crap, and then like after it's done, you're like, wait, why did I have to, couldn't you just have a scene?
Yeah.
Plus, like in all honesty, the GameCube controller, like the L and R are kind of weird buttons because you don't use them that often. So you're like mashing them and it's making that like weird springy noise that at least like all GameCube controllers I've used of make with the L and R buttons. So you're just like dunk, and you're like, what is this?
I don't know why, but I giggled then. I don't know, but the way you said when I was playing with Marcus, all I was imagining is you two sat inside a fort that you've built out of boxes. I want that to be a thing.
Cardboard of humanity. Marcus and Richter's cardboard fort.
Yes, and remember, Rick, you have kids now. During the age of technology, you need to teach your kid that a box can be as good as the present itself and build a fort. Because a lot of kids don't get that, are they? To them, they're just like the packaging in the box. They're just stuff to throw away. No. Back in our day, that was as part of the fun. Is if it had a bigger box, you could have more fun because now you can sit in it and pretend it's a race car.
Race car.
I know that like when they're really young, a lot of times kids don't even care what's in it. They're just staring at boxes. Yeah, they like put it on their head and run around. Like a lot of times, what I do is I'll like cut a hole in it and then I like show them something to do with it, and then for the next week they got something stupid to play with.
Yeah.
Like extra.
Richter cuts like eye holes out of a big box, places on his head, and he's like, "Look, kid, Daddy's Minecraft." And the kid's just looking at him like that uncool teacher in school. With really.
I enjoyed it while it lasts, Richter, because after they get to age like 10, they'd be like, "This is it. This is all we got for Christmas. Seriously." I'm sorry for you. You need to ask your boss for a raise.
I also like the idea that he doesn't turn around and say, "I'm Steve from Minecraft." I just like the idea that Richter would be like, "I'm Minecraft," as if it's an entity. That just makes it awesome for like a
I am Minecraft.
Show that I have no knowledge of it.
Yeah.
I'm Minecraft, kids.
Yeah. Watch as I mine the crafts.
Yeah.
And they're just like, really?
Look out, there's a creeper. He's walking. What is he gonna do? Creep?
Yeah.
They just look at you like, it explodes, Dad. Oh, it's gonna explode. Look out, other Minecrafts.
Yeah.
They just walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like like I said, it's like the uncool teachers that tried to rap when I was in school. Like, who remembers those presentations? I don't know if they still do them, where you used to get them in school, and it was people using the kids' jargon to seem cool when they were doing, like, anti-smoking or anti-bullying messages with, like, yo, kids, smoking is minging. And it's like, really, you're going to say minging like that at the time I was in school? It's like, really? That just sounds weird.
Apparently
It
it
sounds
didn't
like
work.
it sounds like you don't know what these words are.
I'd say apparently it didn't work good enough because my dare officer in grade school actually found out in high school he got arrested for cocaine overdose. He got done off the force.
To be fair, he had to suffer through you.
Isn't it ironic? A dare officer, gets fired because they found out he had a cocaine addiction.
That is ironic. That is ironic indeed. But no, we were on about the QTEs. Yeah, there has been some weird ones. Like, some of the ones in God of War are out of place.
Yeah.
In the God of War, some of them are okay.
Or
Yeah.
Aphrodite's.
Yes, Aphrodite. The button isn't to fuck Ares, it's to fuck Ares over, to fuck him up. My favourite one with those is still the Zeus one, as I've mentioned, where you're pressing the button to just punch Zeus over and over and over again, and the blood splatters and the screen starts to get bloody. Because at a certain point, when you just get bored of this and you let go and you realise he's been dead the whole time, you're like, I kind of feel bad. I know not other people do, but that made me feel bad, because I'm like, I've just been beaten on a cup. I don't know how to feel about this.
Like, I thought it would end if I kept doing it, but it would only end when I stopped.
Yeah, congratulations, game. You've made me have an ethical crisis.
Trophy
Quick,
unlocked.
let's replay it so I can beat him again. No. Let's try and beat my record. But no, some of them are weird as well. Like, in some games it's like, press this button to talk to this person at the very beginning of the scene, and so you just go, okay, and it starts the cutscene. It's like, you didn't need this. Just start the cutscene.
Well, I think if they put it in an action-oriented scene, it doesn't feel so out of place. It's when they try to put them in other scenes that don't really need them, where they really stick out as like, what? Because, like some games, like there's this one that was on 360 called Ninja Blade, where that was like their thing. Like, that was how they advertised. They were like, we're going to put in lots of QTEs. But that game was so over-the-top and action-y that even though they were long and you do a lot of them, they mostly didn't feel unnecessary. Because, it was stuff where you're like, okay, I'm dodging, like, semi-trucks coming at me and stuff. So, okay, that makes sense. But I'm not like, it's not like, press Y to close the door. And like,
I have to also ask, is Ninja Blade your brother-in-law?
Nice. Yes. Might as well.
Why would that be his brother-in-law?
Because of Wife Blade.
Yes, Wife Blade, Ninja Blade.
Oh.
She comes from the Blade tribe. But yeah, some of them, like I said, some of them do feel out of place. Yeah, like you, I think you just touched upon them, Rick. Yeah, they do feel out of place if they're not in a action or horror or something environment. Like, it's just walk forward and start a cutscene. It's like, okay.
Press X to give your child a teddy bear, or press circle to deny him the teddy bear and give him nightmares about your abusive parenting.
Yeah,
well,
I will say, I think Telltale may have actually made an entire career out of poorly placed things on games.
That may be so.
They've done some good ones, but some are just out of place.
Yeah. Well, one that always struck it as me as weird, although in the context it was in, it was okay. But the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2, um, where granted it's like button pushes to kind of teach you a little bit of what the buttons do, because it's like usually was like
Wait,
jumping, running, like your
you mean like the baby has like an armed hand and like an unarmed hand? Is that what you're on about?
yeah, where it's like press A to kick your legs. Yeah, where it's like basically he's born and it teaches you the buttons and what they control by like having the baby do stuff. It's like, it's like press
It
A
was so
to use
funny.
it to like kick your legs, and I was like, I'm playing as a fucking newborn. Like,
Yeah, but it was funny. The baby has like an armed hand and an unarmed hand, and it's like, where's this kid storing his weapons if he's like, armed?
Yeah, I agree. That felt silly as hell with the controlling a baby. It was like one scene away from I was half expecting the baby to have to go "Wajum" and use the button to summon the fucking
Oh.
the wrist blades and cut his own umbilical cord.
That'd be fucking crazy.
That'd be
Or like, you were also a baby though in Fallout, in Fallout 3, where you were like this like toddler and you'd walk around and read this special book and everything, start your stats or whatever.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, playing as a toddler is slightly better than playing as a newborn baby, where it's like,
But it
nah,
can't
do all
read.
this, do all these actions that a baby can't quite master at this age.
I know, but why would I pick up the book? I can't fucking read. I'm just gonna eat that shit, like.
Kids can look at pictures.
There wasn't really much pictures because there was a lot of words on there, so I'd argue that a 1-year-old would probably eat the book rather than like really look at it.
I would argue a 1-year-old does not know if it has pictures until they pick it up to look. That's how we learn.
Yeah, but then they keep holding it and they flip the pages like they're reading, but they're not. If it was a baby, you'd be like, because they put everything in their mouth.
Remember, if you're a toddler and Liam Neeson tells you to do something, you do it regardless.
That's true. He freaking counted with the count, so he can do anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's Give Me Back My Wife, in which case you at least drag that out for a few sequels.
Fuck that bitch.
Give me back my son.
Yeah. No, give me back my wife. No, give me back my son. No, give me back my third cousin once removed from my marriage.
Press X to give him back his wife.
Yes.
Press circle to keep it.
Yeah,
Press triangle to fuck her while making him watch while saying that's for monopolizing Victor's time.
And then keep going until you stop and realize you've been fucking a corpse the whole time.
Yeah, but yeah, some of those that baby one is just weird. I also don't like some cutscenes nowadays allow you to move the right stick as if you're the cameraman. It's like, no, why would that? Because if I do that, I might miss something important. Let me just, if you want me to see something that's happening elsewhere, make it look automatically as a cameraman. That's how you would direct the cutscene. It's weird when they do it that way.
Actually, I just remembered one that I always thought was really cool, even though it's strange, and it was also in Heavy Rain. And it wasn't necessarily in an action scene, but I think this was really good because one of the characters in that is like addicted to a drug.
Oh yeah, the cop.
And some of the scenes were like you like had to hold buttons to not take the drug, so it was like almost like an anti, like action.
Yeah.
But I remember one of them was really hard, and I was like, why am I holding these weird buttons? Then I thought about it later, and I'm like, oh, it's probably intentionally weird because they want to make it harder because it's harder for him to resist taking it. And I'm like, that's actually really good. Like it's not in where I would consider putting like a QTE, like in a scene where a guy's trying not to take drugs. But I thought they did that really well, and I was like, that little slice was a really good use of it because even though it was awkward, it was supposed to be, and I thought that.
I did like Heavy Rain.
Although, like, it was a little morbid. Press, like, with the move, make this move to chop off your fucking fingers. Like, oh, God. Like,
yeah. That's brutal. Especially when you're like me the first time and you didn't look around too hard, so you...
You didn't even choose, like, the best...
I think I had, like, the knife or something the first time, but one time I picked the scissors, and the worst part was, like... you hit the button. They're like those little kitty scissors, right? And you hit the button once, you're like, oh god. And then the button prompt comes up again because the scissors don't cut through the first time. And I'm like, this is the most disturbing thing I've ever had to do in a game.
Oh,
God, can you imagine? You put your finger in the scissors, you hit it once, and it doesn't go. And you're like, you have to do it again. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
That's like climbing through the glass. It was like, oh my god, this fucking sucks.
What were you gonna say, Mole? Oh no.
I don't hear him.
I know.
No. No. Damn you, Richter. You press the action, press square to make Mo go away.
Okay, let me hold Z and then.
You have to
I'm
like
still
do a
here.
strange. Okay, there we
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Ah.
I didn't realize I was muted, but yeah, I said on that scene, I got the game a little late to the party. What I did with Heavy Rain is I bought it after Move came out. That scene with the fingers where you chop them off, you actually have to push down like you're like in a chopping action with the Move, and I'm like, oh, that's so wonderfully sick.
Nice.
Yeah, if you've got the Move, you need to replay that game using just Move. It's kind of wonderful.
I did. That's
Some
what I'm
of-
saying.
Some of the actions were a little awkward, like opening a door where you had to put forward and then pull it back and press the button. Sometimes it wouldn't quite respond. It was a little weird, but that was a little bad. But most of the actions on that game is improved by using the Move, because it's like, oh god, it's like I'm actually doing this. Nice.
Nice.
It's like I'm actually showering my body now.
But did anyone else have any other suggestions?
Not really. I
So
just
baby.
kind of wish that they would.
Are you
Like,
are you eating right now, Pew Pew?
No.
Oh, I heard some. It sounded like food moving.
I was probably my guinea pigs. They're always like going nuts with their freaking hay.
Yeah, because you got ghetto ones where they're like, oh, hey.
Right. Actually, I got friggin' top quality Timothy hay, which is what they eat.
it's the best quality hay available.
Yes. It's organic, hey.
It's hipster hay.
It is.
It comes with a pair of sunglasses, or no, hipster glasses.
Don't you have enough? No.
Ouch.
I'm kidding with that, but no. Does anyone else have any embarrassing quick time events or weird ones that you can think of?
Well, there was this another one in Fallout 3 where you're in the simulation. You have to get out of this simulation because you're in a pod or something, and you have to like the code to break the simulation to escape is like press like this button to initiate like Russians killing everybody, and that's how you fucking escape the thing. That's how you escape the simulation, by firing like Russians to kill everybody by pressing a key on a computer. And I thought that was fucking crazy. I'm like, did I just do that? Did I just kill everyone just to save myself? Because if you checked the pods before you went in, they were all alive. So you had to fucking kill them by a Russian, like, friggin' fire squad to save them.
Everyone had to die so you could survive. Who are you, Kristen Krunk in any CW show? Thank you.
You also saved your dad.
Thank you for my outdated reference.
Hey.
But no. How about you, Rick? Do you have any others?
Yeah. Oh crap! I just forgot it though. Oh yeah. Okay. One that I would like to. They pretty much fixed it in the later ones, but in God of War 1 especially, I always hated when you had to like mash buttons to open doors. Like if he's like when you're like trying to fight the Minotaur to drive his own sword through his throat, okay, but when he's like struggling to open doors and treasure chests, it kind of takes some of that man power out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's the one me and you have joked about as well before. Where it's been like you press one button and he goes boom and decapitates a god. He can lift an entire god with like a push of a button. He's just completely powerful. Struggles to open a tiny chest.
Well, in the first one, I think it was like mash R1, which is a really weird button to hit repeatedly. Like usually it's the face buttons, not the top ones.
Yeah.
So I think in the later ones they made it like circle, but it's still like, yeah, you're like, he's like, oh, struggling to open a door. It's like, well, it's a kind of a big door, but I mean, really, they give us all these like other Herculean feats he does without much effort, but then he's like, oh god, that door that's made out of like iron bars that are just sitting there. It's not even like a heavy or solid door. It's like, and you're like, just get under the door.
Yeah, I think he found it easier to decapitate a Hydra than he did to open a chest. A little tiny chest. It's like,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, I think not only does it take more presses, but at least when he's like, fighting the monster, it makes sense. Because like the Hydra is trying not to get its face impaled on the mast of the ship. It's gonna struggle, you know. I like that; those made sense where you're like struggling against it, but like.
Wait a minute,
It's fighting gravity?
are you saying you have a new cool fan theory in which all the chests in God of War are actually sentient beings that don't want to get their heads ripped off?
Or they're like gravity. You just don't ever fight the god of gravity.
Yeah, God of gravity. And it looks like
Also,
a cool
Later ones, didn't he just wouldn't he just smash the treasure chest and then just throw the lid off? I guess he
Yeah.
had enough with trying to open them.
Yeah, it was, and then later on you have to mash him enough to raise his arms and go, and just smashes through. But it's still like, why am I struggling to raise my arms at this point? I just spun around with a fucking blades in the air, going but then struggling to lift them without a weapon. It's like, no, it doesn't feel right. I'm naked without my weapons.
I just did a 30-hit combo while staying airborne. He can't lift just his arms.
Oh god, they were weird. But I'll say to people, thank you for joining us. I was your host, Quiz, aka The Mole. Thank you to Anastasia Laserbeam.
You're welcome.
And thank you to Richter, the stay-at-home dad gamer. And again, air quotes, why?
You're welcome.
So, peace.